Hi there, my name is I am not new to the Empower Network, but I am new. It was introduced to me about 2 years ago, but I had a lot of other things going on. I would start and stop and start and stop. And then I made a really drastic change in my life. So I spent my entire life in New Jersey, and I was a firefighter there for about 10 years. And this past May, I decided to make a change in my life and move to California. So on May 3rd of this year, got in my car all packed up and drove cross country for about two and a half weeks, and landed in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I am now a Master's of Divinity student at the Pacific School of Religion, which is definitely not somewhere I thought my life would be a couple of years ago. Not even maybe a year ago. I expected to be in California. I didn't expect to be in seminary. But, you can't always anticipate the turns of life, and if you're smart, you'll pay attention to repeated signs in your life and follow them one way or the other. So I came out here in May. I blogged the whole way, and I did some blogging when I got here, and then I fell off, and real life happened in a bunch of different ways. Personal issues that we all deal with, obviously, but just I lived in Montclair. I lived in New Jersey my entire life. I did not anticipate the change that moving to California would be, and so there were a lot of adjustments for me to make. Just getting acclimated with the area, just figuring out where I was and how to get around, and trying to meet new people, and figuring out seminary and how I was going to go about that, and missing my family and missing my friends, and dealing with doubt and confusion. I quit a really good job with nothing in place out here because I felt so strongly in my heart. But then I said, once I got out here for a couple months, I started to second guess it. Who wouldn't? I had I was 10 years through a 25-year career, and I had this shift in my spirituality that made it glaring for me that I needed to make a change in my life. So I'm back, and I'm back with a vengeance. It's been a couple of months that I definitely needed, but I'm back in the game. So today I thought I would just shoot an introductory video, reintroduce myself, talk a little bit about my why, and then go. My nephew came to visit me at the end of the summer, and we have a very close relationship. He's 7, and he is like a son to me. He means the world to me, and leaving him was one of the hardest parts of leaving New Jersey. That's actually him right there a couple years ago when I graduated from school. But anyway, I miss him terribly, and in my fantasy world, I'll get my sisters to move out here and start this new life, and that would be awesome. But that's not necessarily in my control. There's a lot of extenuating factors that would have to happen for that to occur. But what I could do through the Empower Network is make enough money, well, first of all, to survive, because I am jobless right now. I do have a second pursuit that I'm going to introduce in a second, but obviously just for income to get me through the next few years of seminary. But beyond that is to be able to make trips back and forth to New Jersey, maybe even once a month, to see him and spend time with him, which is something that's really, really important in my life, and something that I had for a couple of years. My nephew spent a lot of time with me, and he had a bedroom in my house, and to go from seeing him 3, 4, 5 times a week and having him spend a night and helping him with homework and playing catch with him and all that other stuff, to barely getting to talk to him on the phone once a week is a lot. So, and it's a lot for a 7-year-old to be expected to sit on the phone and talk to somebody every night or once a week. So the solution to that is to be able to travel back and forth as I would like. So that is my main why for getting involved with the Empower Network, giving it everything I have, watching training videos, and believing in it. A really good friend introduced me to the Empower Network, and she's doing pretty well with it, and she's somebody that I trust. I mean, I've been leery about internet marketing and network marketing for a long time. I've looked at a number of different companies. This is somebody that I know really well and I trust. She's up here on my vision board too. Yeah, and you guys might know my good friend Marisol. So she got me into this, and I trust her a lot, and I have very good feelings that if I just follow directions and do as I'm told, that I'll have the success that I need to see my nephew as frequently as I'd like. The other thing I'll be doing with my blogging is, and it's really hopefully going to be a source of income for me in California, is marketing my book. One of the there were a lot of things that became catalysts to me moving to California, but a lot of it had to do with just me having a really turbulent life in general, and so turbulent that when I was 27, I just sat down and I wrote for 2 months. I just poured everything out about my life and about my childhood, about the trauma that I saw. I saw a tremendous amount of trauma that was outside of my household. There was a lot of turmoil inside of my household. I had some traumatic events happen to me, including a car accident that, by all accounts, should have claimed my life. So I poured all these things out, and I eventually edited it into a book and published it a few years ago. But I wasn't really focused on marketing the book. It was really something that I did more for me than for money. I did it to get healthy. I was a fall-down drunk and very depressed and dealing with a lot of issues from my childhood. And writing it was so cathartic for me that I didn't care if I ever sold a copy. But people have read it, and the people that have read it have had nothing but incredible feedback for me. And my good friend Marvin told me in no uncertain terms that it's not about you, and you have a tremendous testimony to share, to encourage and empower other people. And saying that it did everything that it did for you, and being better at your job and accepted at your job, and functional in society, like, that's not enough. That's not enough. Thank you for the second chance that you got at life, and you need to tell your story. You need to share your story. It's not about money. It's about helping people, and that is my primary goal, which has a lot to do with me also being in seminary. So it's twofold. I mean, obviously, I'm going to market the book, and I'm going to hope to make some money off of it and some income. But more so, I hope that my story will touch some people and maybe help them through a situation that they may be going through that's similar to the various issues that I dealt with in my life. I dealt with a lot, and if you watch the video probably prior to this, I do outline the first chapter of the book. I am going to get back into that, basically going chapter by chapter to try and run some things down and get people to understand why I feel like I'm in a position to be a speaker, to motivate, to empower and encourage people. And the fact of the matter is that I've been pretty low down a number of times in my life, in a number of different ways in my life, and I think that can be used to help other people, and that's what I'm going to do, and hopefully make a bit of a living off of it anyway. So this is my book. It is called Praying for Peace, A Journey to Serenity. That is the picture that I'm talking. That's the accident that I'm talking about. The one that most definitely should have claimed my life, and I wasn't even a drunk yet. So there will be more to come about all of that. I'm going to start breaking it down chapter by chapter. Chapter 1 is done. Chapter 1 was done months ago, and if you're interested in the first 10 years of my life and the trauma that was around that, and the circumstances that kind of started off my life, you can check the video before this on YouTube, and that kind of runs down the first 10 years. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about chapter 2, which I learned the last time I tried to do chapter 2 needs to be 2 videos, because a lot of stuff happened to me in middle school. Both a lot of things going on in my home, things going on with me emotionally, and things going on in my life. One of which, I dealt with 3 murders of people in my life within like a 26-month period. Not to mention other things. So we'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow. I just wanted to introduce myself, and hopefully just maybe, I don't know if I said anything encouraging today, but I guess really just to introduce myself and talk about my why, and and get started with this again. It's not really easy to get started once you start and stop. You know, a lot of times that second time takes more energy than the first time. But I'm ready. School has started. I'm excited. I have written out a little study schedule and a power schedule, and you know, I'm ready to really take my life by the horns. So come take the journey with me, and maybe pick up a couple of things along the way. Okay.